All right, and we are live. I just have to go over to the. Okay, so welcome, hello, and get ready because we're about to take it to the mic stand.
Woo!
And and tonight, of course, I see that's why I have to wait on the YouTube screen to pop up there because I'm going back and forth between the two. Okay, so this is what's on tap tonight. Um, I only found like one story today, so I figured let's just make this a lax stream. Just do some niche talk. So I said I
Yeah.
was gonna open it up to whoever wanted to join me in the studio here. So I appreciate you coming on. They give me somebody to banter back and forth with.
Anytime.
Yeah. Well, I mean, conversations are best when you have more than one person involved. So you know how
Most
that goes.
definitely.
Yeah. So how's your day going?
Did something I haven't done in a while. I left the house and went out into the town and the city and got back and went and cut some grass for my brother. Give him a hand.
Huh.
Got back
Oh,
and
so
started
you actually
drinking.
left your house for the first time in a while?
Yeah.
Yeah, I leave it every day. I just go up to my local store to grab my energy drink, and I usually leave my house about once, maybe twice a day. Just go grab something from the local store.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't really do a whole lot of that anymore. So.
Well, from what you were telling me the other day too, you are actually one of those in the more high risk group, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, that sucks.
It does. I
Yeah.
went out and tried to find some of these new He-Man action figures that come out. They're $15 on the stand or at Walmart, but
Mm-hmm.
people just go in and buy them all up and then try
Mm.
to scalp you for three times the price. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. That's usually what they'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, you also said you had a family, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know you mentioned your kids on here before. So, how? So, are you the stay-at-home dad then because of your situation?
Currently, yeah.
Yeah, your wife is the one who goes out and does the breadwinning, right?
No, actually, no. Like I said before, I'm retired, so
Huh.
I don't. Neither
You're
one of us have
you're
to work.
retired. Retired from what?
I used to be an archaeologist.
Oh, okay. So you got a
Yeah.
good pension from the university you worked at or whatever, or the
Oh no,
college.
we'd always be out um, digging and finding things. It was always a lot of fun. I just got to the point where I was like my back was just done. I couldn't do it anymore.
So were you able to save up enough money then to do all that and stuff
Um,
to retire? I mean,
yeah. Well,
if you
I've
said you retired, so how did you retire? Was it through a pension plan or did you actually save up
neither. I
during
didn't.
your?
Neither. Well, I've worked since I was 12.
Oh,
So I've always had money, and by the time I was 22, I've had my own house and
hmm.
stuff like that. I don't like to brag or anything, so I'm just like, I'm set.
Yeah,
I,
you have the means to live a reasonably comfortable life,
yeah,
right? That's probably the best way to say it.
yeah.
All right. Well, with some of the so are your kids back in school then?
No, my community decided we're not gonna. They're not sending any of the kids back to school. They're gonna do online classes instead.
Well, have they
Um,
started up the online yet, or are they waiting till September?
I think it's September 1st they start,
Okay.
so it's coming up soon.
Yeah, that's this Tuesday. That's this coming Tuesday.
Yeah.
All right. Now things are dimmed down enough. Just give me a sec so I can turn on my light in my room here.
Okay.
And as you can probably tell, it's starting to get a little clear.
Hmm.
All right. Well, with some of those So how has it been with having the kids in the house with you all day since the whole pandemic started?
Okay, let me see. One son Jeremiah, he does pretty good. He likes to hang around and play with toys and do his own thing. Um, my other son Lazarus, he likes to play games all day long.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he's actually been invited to he said a group called Phase or something. I have no idea. But I'm like, nope, you're only 10. You're not playing on. You're not doing that.
Oh,
um,
online? Is it one of those online
yeah,
gaming things?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, you're 10. You're not allowed to play. I'm not let you doing that kind of stuff. And he was like, yeah. He's really good though. I watched him play. I was like, oh, okay. And my daughter, she does her own thing. She plays the Switch, and she
Okay.
plays on
Yeah.
her phone. Yeah, she does that.
Well, let's see. You told me the other day your daughter was 13.
Yeah,
You just told me now your son Lazarus is 10,
yeah.
and then what
Jeremiah's
about you?
8.
Jeremiah's 8. So
Yeah,
13, 10, and 8. So and you said that your boys enjoy watching cartoons with you, right?
yeah. And my daughter grew out. She does has no care for it.
Well,
She,
13, she's middle school age, so she's probably wanting to be out with her friends more than anything else. It's like,
yeah.
Dad, yeah, you were cool like 2 or 3 years ago, but I'm 13 now, so I know better. I want to go out in the world. I want to go hang with my friends at the mall or something. All right.
Yeah. Oh, I feel so replaced suddenly.
That's life, right?
Yeah. Oh.
All right. Well, with some of the introductory stuff out of the way here, let's see. I guess we can talk a little bit more about general stuff and see if anybody else shows up. I know it's Friday night. People were on. Well, I guess not a lot of people would be going out right now because of COVID or anything like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Actually, what was surprising to me too is I actually got 3 likes already, even before the stream even started. So I guess you guys came in early, and I usually will do that like early as possible. But yeah. So knowing anonymity, he'll probably show up later and stuff
Mhm.
like that. Yeah.
Maybe we
So
could.
I have some good base questions to get into. I was just thinking about them right before we're starting for like anime, cartoons, comics, manga, and pro wrestling. So um, just gonna wait a little bit longer here to
Yeah.
since I now actually have at least one other person in here, we can actually talk casually until we can like I know Nick a lot. I don't know if you've been on Ricada streams before or not, but
I've
sometimes
watched them.
yeah he'll sometimes wait to let people kind of come in.
Yeah.
He doesn't start. Usually, I like to start right away. The only reason I usually will start right away is because I don't like the idea of just having dead air on. You know what that expression means, right?
Yeah, I know exactly what it means.
The radio term, basically.
Yep.
So yeah, that's when nobody is speaking. There's no music or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's like
Radio
dead air.
silent.
Yeah, another way of putting it. Yeah. Um, oh wait, you already told me what you did today, so.
How about you, Mike? What'd you do today?
Pretty much what I've been doing. Well, it's Friday, so I actually did do my laundry today. So that's, I guess, the one big difference. Got up, got dressed, um, then started my laundry, went up to the store, grabbed. Well, let's see. Actually, before I went up to the store, I actually did some recycling as well. Did some of the recycling and got my laundry started. Then went up to the store, grabbed my energy drink. Then came back, got back on the computer. You know, played some Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. You
Yeah.
know, caught up. Well, let's see. Then I think I let's see. Then I think I watched my Toonami block,
Oh, cool.
and then which now is Mobile Fighter G Gundam, followed by Shingu Secret of the Stellar Wars. Um, let's see. Trying to let's see. Majikoi, which I also just started watching, and then Majikoi, Oh Samurai Girls, and then Winx Club. So now Winx Club is technically more of a cartoon than an anime, but that idea of having that either early morning or half early afternoon or mid afternoon block there. If kind of remember that. Yeah, and then later on tonight, my Adult Swim block will be Goku Sen, which is a pretty good anime. And I don't know if I told you about Goku Sen before, but that one's kind of an interesting one to check out. It's the plot is there's this Yakuza heiress whose dream it was to become a high school teacher.
Oh, okay.
And,
you did tell me about that. I mentioned Maid Summer.
Huh?
You did say that you about the heiress that wanted to be she was a high school teacher. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mentioned Maid Summer.
Oh, Maid Summer was that's another anime altogether, but Goku Sen is what this one's called. It's one I'd highly recommend. I mean, they've got quite a bit of action in it, and it's more slice of life, but there's a lot of good comedy in it. Not something I would recommend you watch with your younger kids, but because it is well, the language in it, some of the humor is a little more mature.
Yeah.
But it's still one that I think you might enjoy. Let's see. Goku Sen, then let's see. I'm trying to rewatching Black Lagoon after like have not watched it in a couple years or so.
Have you seen the OVA with the nun in it?
I may have before. Basically since I basically like at this point I've watched everything that's pretty much been dubbed by Blue Water. I've watched everything that's been dubbed by Ocean Studios. I've watched everything that's been dubbed by the New York voice crew. So that stuff, a lot of that stuff, I'm just rewatching. A lot of that stuff's older, anyways. So, still I'm watching newer, not super newer stuff from like Funimation or the Texas crew, ADV/Senta. Still working my way through those as well as the LA stuff. Let's see. I'm also went back and started rewatch. Well, back when I first watched D Gray Man, they'd only gone up to like episode I think 51 or 52 or something like that. But now they have where I usually will watch it, they have the full series up. So D Gray Man, and then I'll be starting Blaze Blue Ultra Memory tonight. So this will be the first I'll be watching that. So that's basically, of course, I'm doing my stream, of course. And the two of us are the only ones still here. Yeah. So
where's anonymity?
yeah, he's as far as I can tell, he's not here yet unless he showed up. No, he's not in yet. But okay, so yeah, he's probably working a little bit late.
Then he'll get home. He'll make himself something to eat.
Yeah, well, usually when he gets home, he usually acknowledges that he's home and stuff like that, or that he's on his way home, so he's probably still at work. But if his job is setting up events and stuff like that, Friday is usually
a big day.
A big day for even in the age of COVID right now, you still have people going to live events. Granted, not as crowded, but you know, um, yeah. Excuse me a moment. I gotta go off screen for just a moment.
Yeah. Okay.
I know you guys have already figured out what I'm doing, but I still think it's fine. It's not best that you guys
Hmm.
are doing
Little
it.
self plug while Mike is away. Always come and check out the Action Toys channel. A great place to learn how to fix broken, and modern, and vintage toys. A place where you can come, enjoy, learn something new, and listen to some nice music.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
You have to do content on your channel too, right?
What's that?
You do content on your channel too.
Yeah, yeah. I restore, repair, fix vintage and modern toys.
Hmm.
Lately, I've been doing a lot of He-Man because I've literally got cases and cases of parts just sitting here under my desk, and I'm like, let's get this out of here, put it on the shelf, get it ready to go.
Yeah. You watch Toy Bounty Hunters?
uh, yes, I watched them. I was watching them last year, and I haven't watched them so much this year though. I don't know why.
Yeah, because I know he's he's a bit of a toy collector himself.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you've seen his studio, his room. He's got all that stuff around. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
My problem right now is finding space for stuff. I'm
Hmm.
I'm I'm currently put my stuff in my room,
Mhm.
and my wife is unhappy because there's now nowhere for us to sleep. So I'm in my office slash bedroom now, and she's been
Whoa.
couching it, and she's not happy with me. So I'm like, all
Yeah.
right. I was like, well, I can't put it in the basement because it's not a good climate controlled area, and she just looks at me with a stare.
I take it she's not as avid a toy collector, a toy repairer as you are. I take it.
Oh no, she's got one toy, and it's the DC Multiverse Harley Quinn, and it's currently sitting right next to the computer monitor in front of me because I don't have that one yet, and that one's hers. So
In a city of justice, city of love, in a city of peace for every one of us. For we all know it, can't live without it. Gotham City. Oh, yeah. You know where that's from, right?
um, no, I'm
That
not.
was from the third Tim Burton Batman movie, where
Oh, the
Batman,
one with the
where
penguin in it.
no, the one
No.
with the Riddler in it,
Oh,
the
that
one
wasn't
where
a
Jim
Tim Burton one, was
Carrey.
it? I don't think that was a Tim Burton one. It didn't. That was a
Okay,
Val Kilmer's Batman.
okay. Well, I knew they were all part of the same family.
Oh, okay.
They were all part of the same family, so same family of films.
Yeah.
So that was from the third, I believe it was the third film, the one with the Riddler in it, where Jim Carrey was playing
Yeah.
the Riddler.
Yeah.
And you had, I think, Catwoman played by Michelle Pfeiffer. In fact, what's been kind of funny on some of the videos where he's talked about Batman, Yellow Flash has had put a scene in there at the end where I guess Batman is fighting Catwoman, and he knocks her down, and he goes, or I'm sorry, and she goes, "How dare you? I'm a woman!" And he goes, "Oh, I'm sorry," and he goes to help her up, and she kicks him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I see that Flash doing that. I know why Flash is putting that in there, because it's like, you know, I guess that's how these white knights are going to get treated by SJWs.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, so yeah,
Like,
I
was it?
know Fridays can be. And we don't even have our lurkers in tonight. The lurkers that have been coming around the last few nights.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, as I said, I feel like I do better as a streamer because having the kind of the back and forth,
Yeah.
you know, rather than just simple narration. Even though, from what I've been told, a lot of people like my narrative voice as well. How have you liked some of the occasions where I've decided to kind of do funny voices when I'm doing the news reports and
I
reading
think
off
that
the quotes? Huh?
I like it because it changes it up a little bit. I was like, oh, and then you're
Yeah.
like,
I
no, it's like, oh my god, that's funny.
well, I think because Flash does it too. Flash
Mhm.
will sometimes when he starts quoting one of the SJWs or one of the people involved, whatever, he'll do that too. And I figured, yeah, I could do that. That might actually add a little spice to my, you know, like when I talk like this, like kind of an Urkel-esque voice here, Steve Urkel-esque voice, and describing an SJW, you know, real nasally voice here, and when they start ring, ring,
Yeah, that got me every
I can get a
time.
little loud too, unfortunately, sometimes. So especially when I get excited. But
Oh, what
somebody
happened?
coming into the room there.
Oh no, I'm sitting at my desk and I'm picking things up because I had to. It's where I record, so I had to push everything out to the side, so things are starting to fall back where they're not supposed to
Uh,
be.
oh, because it sounded like I heard a door open or something like that. So
Oh, the that sound?
no, not that sound. It sounded like a door opening. I
Uh,
thought maybe
oh,
maybe your wife had come into the room or something like that.
oh no, no, I'm just picking things up, getting them out of my way.
Hmm.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, that's part of the fun of having a conversation, being able to interact with people. Just over 20 minutes here. 22:35 here. So, ah, all right. Well, I'm sure I'm hope anonymity. I know will come in soon. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into the niche talk here a
Oh,
little
okay,
bit.
yeah.
Um, so I figured now what I was thinking, I figured like I just throw out a question there, and then we can get into like discussions on it. So for the anime part, I was thinking of asking, what's your favorite fighting slash martial arts anime, and why?
Hmm, that's a good question. If this was many years ago, I would have said Dragon Ball Z, but
Of course, that's what a lot of
yeah,
people.
yeah, like I said, that was if it was then, it would have been that. But I would say, tech is it Afro Samurai?
Oh, Afro Samurai.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why? I like the animation style, and I like a lot of gore in my shows, so it showed me a
yeah.
lot
I
of
think
gore.
I think if I understand correct, isn't didn't wasn't Afro Samurai actually originally produced here in the States?
I don't know. I didn't look into that. So
I think it's an original American anime production.
hmm. I could see it. The anime style's different, so
Yeah.
I didn't see a lot of big eyes. So I would assume that's more of an American type thing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Let's see. For me, I would say my all-time favorite is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, that's a good choice.
Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho. I mean, the action is good. Obviously, the martial arts style,
Mhm.
styling, and the way even when Yusuke was battling Shu and they were explaining the whole Suiken style, in other
Yeah.
words, drunken fist style, that was pretty cool. But the
Mhm.
thing that I love most about it is the underlying story, is watching Yusuke and watching his growth process.
Yeah.
The series ran for like 112 episodes. It was a good series. I mean, it wasn't just simply all about the fighting, but getting into the reason why you fight. I
Mhm.
remember like one of the key scenes in it during the demon tournament. Um, in the Three Kings saga.
Yeah.
And you've watched the Yu Hakusho, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not spoiling anything for you
No, you're
in
not.
here.
No.
Okay.
The
So
English,
before I
the
continue
voice of
on,
Freezer is in there.
huh?
I remember that. I remember Yu Hakusho so well because the voice of Freezer's in there. The English dub version. Freezer's voice is in there.
Linda Young.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Linda Young?
Yeah.
Okay. So okay. Um. Oh wait, yeah, Linda. Yeah, Linda Young, who voiced Frieza in Dragon Ball. She voiced Genkai in Yu Yu Hakusho.
Hmm.
So, but back to my point, I remember the scene in which Yusuke was fighting Yami, and he all of a sudden stopped fighting because it's like he kind of lost the will to fight for a moment because like he wasn't even sure what he was fighting for anymore. And then you had that kind of montage where everybody he's ever known is like kind of almost like through Genkai is almost telepathically talking to him, encouraging him, pushing him on, and then he finds his will to fight, and then of course they kind of had the mutual knockout, or it was about to be a mutual knockout, but Yomi was able at the last second to stretch his foot out to get more of his bearing. So yeah, but just watching the growth, you know, of Yusuke's character there, that was the cool part. I mean, there were some other cool parts too, like there were some cool lines in it, like
Yeah.
like during the Genkai tournament when Yusuke was asking Kuwabara if he sensed a demon in their presence, and Yusuke at one point would say, "Oh, kind of like a fart in a crowded elevator."
Yeah. Oh.
That was pretty cool. And then of course you had another cool line where um, Genkai was making the point to them at the beginning of the chapter Black Saga, and basically talking about, yeah, you guys need to start learning how to use that lump that's 3 feet above your ass. And then she goes to Hiei, in your case, 2 feet.
Ouch.
Now, mind you, sometimes I will quote swear words. I usually won't swear a lot unless there's a reason to. Just simply because, as I've always stated, it is because I had this conversation with with the Knuckleheads last Friday.
Oh, okay.
But actually, yeah, but yeah, I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho is my all-time favorite, and it's my all-time favorite anime. Period. But obviously, my all-time favorite fighting anime. Some other ones, of course, that I've watched fighting martial arts ones that are pretty good include like Naruto, of course, um, Hajime no Ippo, which is a boxing one.
Yeah.
Another good one, about where the story in it is pretty good. I think it's like a 52 episode anime.
Yeah.
Another one I would
Yeah.
suggest you check out. It's
Oh, I've seen. I just have. I don't remember if I see the whole thing or not. Yeah.
yeah, I think it translates as fighting spirit, but I know it as Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah.
Another one I'll probably start watching again Monday. As Goku Sen's only 13 episodes, I'll be finishing that one off tonight. So I'll be moving on to my next anime out of New York. New York dub is one called Shura no Toki. That's another one of my favorites. That one's a pretty good one. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It translates as Age of Chaos or Time of Shura.
That sounds familiar. That really does. I might
Okay,
have seen it.
so basically, here's kind of the plot of it. So it actually follows the trek of three characters. Okay, who are all part of the same family. This family has this martial arts style they call Mutsu Enmei-ryu. Okay,
Okay.
it's some kind of like really good, like basically anybody who trains in this essentially becomes a one-man army. It's
Oh,
some kind of
okay.
it's some kind of it's some kind of very powerful form of unarmed combat. And so what the anime does is it follows three of the family members at different points in history.
Oh, okay.
The first arc, which I think is about 7 or 8 episodes, I think. Um, you have the main character being Yakumo Mutsu. The family name is Mutsu. Okay, so Yakumo Mutsu, and it basically follows his challenging of the late 16th century samurai Musashi Miyamoto.
Oh, okay.
And then the second arc, and of course, this also gets into um, Musashi adopting Iori, who's his adopted son at a young age.
Oh, I did see this. Now that you mention it, yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's yeah. So it's the story again is very good. The kind of
Yeah,
the and the fighting scenes are
yeah,
really very interesting.
yeah,
Just in terms of just many of the different ways that he comes up with to fight people. You
yeah,
know, so
yeah. Because
so
he was.
that
I think
huh?
the best fight in that whole anime is where he was fighting that master swordsman, and the guy was like, "Okay, I can defeat him before his fist touches me." But what his counter was to just stick out his finger and poke out his eye. I think that was the best part of that whole series. I was like, "Oh,
Oh yeah, that I think happened in the second arc. I
yeah,
Oh yeah, I know what you said. That was in the second arc. That was when Takato was being featured, and Takato was basically in that same age group as Iori. Basically, at this point, Musashi had become an old man. Iori had thought that Iori wasn't sure what happened to Yakumo. And the interesting thing about that one too was, of course, one of the other main characters in that arc was Jubei Yagyu. Now, Jubei Yagi was known for having an eye patch,
yeah,
and there were a number of different legends surrounding that eye patch. Okay, and there's been a number of animes that have Jubei Yagi. Well, a number of animes have a number of those historical samurai in them. Um, there's let's see, the one anime I'm thinking of is Jubei-chan. There's two animes that kind of go to. There's Jubei-chan, The Secret of the Lovely Eye Patch, and then there's Jubei-chan, The Counterattack of the Frisia Yagyu or something like that. Another one, a little more comedic. It's like that one's kind of about a reluctant, basically about a high school girl who basically kind of gets forced into the Yagyu girls in modern times. You know, her nickname happens to be Juve, even though that's not her actual name. And she kind of, it's kind of an interesting one. You might, Jubei-chan is the name of the anime. There's two parts to it, 2 seasons to it. So that one was actually dubbed by Blue Water too. So the Calgary-based voice actors. So um, see another fighting one that I really liked, and I liked both versions, both the 1999 version and the 2000 version. Um, the 1999 version is better watched as part of an afternoon block. The
Mm-hmm.
2011 version, that was the one that was just out on Toonami, Hunter x Hunter.
Oh,
That one's
Hunter
a
X
good one.
Hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pronounced Hunter x Hunter. The X in that is it's more like a punctuation mark.
Yeah, but I just like the way it sounds. Hunter X Hunter.
That's
Just
how it reads. That's how it
yeah.
looks to us. But the X is actually silent. It's more like a punctuation mark or something like that. So, um, yeah. So, are there any are there any memorable fight? Well, I know you said it might be Dragon Ball Z, might be the. Oh, by the way, which dub did you watch of Dragon Ball Z? Did you watch the Funimation dub or? Oh wait, did you watch the? Actually, you said you're a subber, right? I guess it
Yeah,
wouldn't matter.
but
You're more of a subber.
yeah, but growing up, the household, everyone had to be able to understand what was on the TV. So I really didn't pay much attention when everyone was watching the dubbed anime. So I was like, eh. But I think it was it? It might
Well,
have been
because okay,
Funimation because there's also a Ocean dub or something like that too.
yeah,
Yeah,
the Ocean did a dub version of it as well. So
yeah.
Funimation started doing the dub in 2003.
Mhm.
You know, prior to that, the dub it was the Ocean dub that was
So it
circulating.
probably would have been Ocean dub then.
All right,
Mhm.
yeah, and now that would have been guys like Brian Drummond, the Dobson brothers, Kelly Sheridan, Yanis Yad, Tabitha St. Germain, um, Tara. I think Tara Strong could be included in that group as well. Oh, we have a third person here. Hello, third person.
Hello.
Okay, so on the StreamYard it says 3 people, but on YouTube it still says 2.
uh,
Um,
leg.
just to let the third person know who might be. Oh, I guess they just disappeared again.
Oh,
Oh,
that sucks.
I just barely noticed them just enough time to say hi to them, and then they go off again. And I was just about to just let them know about the option of coming in and joining us too. That kind of stuff. But yeah. You watched Dragon Ball. Do you have any other memories of maybe some of the other animes that you watched that you'd like to share?
Oh goodness.
Another fun?
Well, I watched a lot of Chibi growing up. Well, I wouldn't say growing up, but Nausicaa, Spirited Away, Moving Castle. The heck was it called?
Yeah, a lot of Ghibli stuff. Okay.
Yeah, was it called Skywalker? No, can't remember. It's all about a floating island with a kingdom in it, and then the only thing left in it was golems because everyone died.
Mm.
Dang it. Skycrawlers, that's it.
Uh,
I think that's it.
mm.
Oh goodness. Um, there's another one. I can't remember it though. It's black and white. It's pretty old. But
Well, let's see. There was Gigantor.
yeah.
That was
Uh,
from back in the day. That was black and white. There
yeah.
was a black and white version of Astro Boy too.
Mhm.
So
This was
those are the two that I could think of that are like
mhm.
black and white.
Yeah. There was it was dang it.
Huh?
I can remember the storyline. It was a father sold his child off to demons so he could get prosperous in his war and conquer the area. And the demons took his eyes, his tongue, his hearing, his skin, his arms, and his legs. And
Yeah.
then he fought to get it all back.
Yeah, what I might have seen, I could have seen I could have seen maybe the intro song to that. There's this one guy on YouTube who's the evolution of anime openings over the years. I think his name's Yourself or something like that. Yourself or whatever. He has what he does is on one of his playlists he has kind of the evolution of anime openings, like of all the different anime studios. So or most of them. Um, um, yeah. So okay. I'm gonna move on to my
Dororo.
next.
Oh, yeah.
Huh? What was that?
Dororo. Dororo. Dororo.
Dorara.
Dororo. um. Here.
Dorara is actually more of a modern one.
Um. No, the one I'm thinking come out in the late 1960s.
Okay, then we're probably not thinking the same one. When you started saying Dororo or something like that, I was thinking you were trying to say Durara,
Yeah, I put the
which
name in.
was on, huh?
I put the name in guest chat.
Okay, guess well, it's not showing up on either YouTube
Oh,
or here.
okay. Uh, I put it in stream chat or in the chat.
Oh, there we go. Oh, Dororo. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think I might have seen that title somewhere before.
yeah, that was pretty good. I like that. I had to dig deep for that one. I was like, oh heck.
Well, I also just thinking about it too. I mean, you want to talk about animes with some hard names to pronounce, and I think in the 2000s there was this one, and this is another one I liked. It's not exactly a fighting one. It's more kind of a RPG type of one. Um, about a guy who lost his memory and then ended up becoming the savior of a villain. Oh, we have third person back. Okay, hello, third person again. Just to give you a heads up, if you'd like to join us in the studio, I put the link up in there. If you'd like to join us and join in on the conversation. Anybody who wants to join in the studio, you can just click the. You just click the. In fact, I'll even put it up again just in case you'd like to join us and give your 2 cents on some of the stuff. Um, you're more than welcome to, or you're more than welcome to just listen to us talk about it. So, and I hope you enjoy. I hope you enjoy the stream. Um,
Yeah, because I think they just made Dororo into a. They made it into live action at one point, and I think they just redid it like a modern anime.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah, and the one and the anime I was. Oh wait, yeah. I think I just told you about. I would totally give you a description of it, but I don't know if I actually told you the name of it. It's Utawareru no, and I have to say it like that because
I was just gonna.
it's one of the it's a long name and it's very hard. It's like Utaware. Let's see, Utawareru Mono Mono. So yeah, I'll type it out for you just so you can see this thing.
Utsurumono. Turumono.
That's how it looks. Oh, hey, anonymity.
Hello.
I just saw him on. I just saw him when I flipped over to the hey, just got home. I got a buddy over, so um I'm leave you on, but I'll be in and out. All right. Well, I don't know if you saw anonymity, but I have the. If you guys want to join us, I have the link up. If you want to join us in the studio and partake in the conversation. So we got 4 people. I think we have 4 people in here now, from the looks of it. So,
Woo!
cool.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Oh, were you looking that up?
Yeah. Sorry. I was like, and then I was like, oh, he said he put it in the chat, and I was like, oh, okay, I already found it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, here it is, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's pretty cool. I see animal eaters. I'm like, oh, interesting.
yeah, that was kind of the cute part too. Like particularly with the girls, that they seem to have some. Like one of the things that was really the attracting part for me was the opening song by Suara. That song was pretty cool. really a catchy tune in there, even if I don't understand Japanese.
Oh, that's another thing. You ever like watching the intro and then you're like, in English, you just said something really nasty, but I know that's just me hearing it, and you're not saying it like that.
Oh, you mean like the word shite, like the
yeah,
Japanese word shite?
yeah.
Yeah, I've made that. Yeah, I've made that observation too before. Action Point channel. Yeah, I could just imagine somebody like particularly somebody down south. They hear the word shite, which is I don't even know what it actually means. Um, but I could just somebody down south sitting there hearing that and going, "Did he just say shite?"
yeah.
So we're using a little more colorful language tonight, but
Well, we're just saying, hey, it sounds like this.
yeah.
We're still
Well,
trying
this again go to show you the thing about language. What may be said, what may mean one thing in one language may is totally something in another. Um, let me just step aside for a moment here.
Oh, okay. Anonymity, you must join us in chat.
Hopefully we will get him in there one of these days. I understand him not really do it tonight. He's got a friend over. So. Again, the more we can get people in there, the more the merrier. All right, then. Back now. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next area topic to talk about here, which will be cartoons. Now, this one's going to be a little bit more interesting, more slice of life ish kind of thing. More a little bit more reminiscing back to when you were a kid.
Uh-oh.
And I take it your wife's out of the room, right? Your wife's out of the room and probably not within earshot of this.
No, I got a headset on, so only I can hear you.
Okay. Okay, so here's the question for the cartoon one. Growing up, when you were growing up watching cartoons, which female cartoon character did you crush on?
Alright.
I think it's a little lighter, something a little, something a little bit more reminiscent.
Yeah, it's Chitara.
That's why I asked why make sure your wife wasn't in the room, because I'm sure
she
even
was
if
here. No, no, yeah, I was like, yeah, Chitara. I like for just straight cartoons, it was Chitara, and
Chitara.
then yeah, yeah, I didn't really care for many of the characters I seen. I was like, I was like, hey, that one's cute.
Yeah, I mean, I crushed on a few of them. I mean, I'd say She-Ra was probably one of the ones who I most crushed on. You know, it's like, you want, it's like sometimes you might see her and He-Man embracing, kind of almost wishing that she'd embrace you like that. you know, Wilma Flintstone, I know she was made, but as a kid, sometimes as a kid, you see some of these maternal figures like Wilma Flintstone or like Jane Jetson, and for that moment, you might wish to be caught up in their embrace as well. Um, but yeah. I mean, there are a lot of Wonder Woman from Super Friends. That one I had I crushed on her a little bit too. You know, again, if we had more people in here, that question would really be fun to talk about, having all the back and forth and stuff over it. But with just the two of us, yeah,
Yeah, it's like Chitara. Why? Why not?
yeah.
Yeah, but let me see. They did the original Chitara was awesome. Okay, and
Mm.
then the remake that came out before the Devastation, that was the Thundercats. That one was pretty good too. Like that was more anime style though, if I remember. Yeah,
Right.
and then the Devastation, that is this new Thundercats thing. I was like, ugh, and I was like, okay, we're not watching this.
Well, yeah, I mean, even Flash has talked about how bankrupt Hollywood and the modern animators are, where they're just recycling old properties
Yeah,
as opposed to having anything new
yeah.
on them.
Kind of like how comic books getting. Oh, you're putting too much detail in it. That makes it not good art. It's like what? And you see what the other people are doing. They're just like doing like a lot of blank spaces and stuff. It's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah. But I mean, there are a lot. You know, see, those are from cartoons, and yeah, those are She-Ra, Wilma Flintstone, probably the two that I most crushed on growing up,
See,
and
you like
Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I was like, I'm watching Flintstones growing up. That was funny. The intro was always awesome. He ended up putting the tiger out, and the tiger jumped back in, put him out, and then lock it, and then they all went to bed. That was awesome.
that was actually more the ending. That was more the ending you're talking about.
Really?
Because
I thought they.
what the opening to the Flintstones was them like driving to the movie theater, like them getting in the car, going and picking up the Rubbles, and then ending up at the movie theater where and then Fred puts the little phone up, and then Dino pops his head up through the roof. What
Oh,
you're talking
yeah,
about was
you're
the
right.
ending.
Yeah, you're right.
What you're talking about was the ending.
I was sitting here going, "Am I misremembering that?" And then you're like, "Yeah." And then I head out the roof. I was like, oh, "Okay, yep." Well,
Flintstones, meet the
meet the
Flintstones.
Flintstones.
Have a yabba dabba do time. A yabba do time. We'll have a gay old time. Yeah. Yeah, I think by this point, I think all the people who voiced all the voices of Flintstones have all. I think they've all passed on by this. I know Alan Reed has passed away. He passed away back, you know, even before the Flintstone specials of the '70s, because they had I think Henry Corden replaced Alan Reed. When they started doing like the Flintstone cartoons of the '70s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gene Vanderpill, I think, has passed on a while ago. B. Benaderet had passed on back closer to the time as well. And Mel Blanc, of course, passed away, I think, in 1989, I believe. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, I mean, of course, they probably would have passed on by now because remember, the Flintstones originally started back in 1960.
Yeah. No, original series was 1966, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
it ran in syndication, for the
Forever.
next. Yeah, I mean, it's still on. I think now it's here. Well, here in the states, I think Antenna TV actually picked it up, and it debuted as a primetime series too. It
Mhm.
wasn't, so as I've told you before, the Flintstones was kind of like the '60s Simpsons in a way.
Mhm.
So it looks like we're coming up on an hour here. So we've been
Really?
talking
Already?
for a good. Yeah, it's like I think 56 and change there.
Oh.
So, so we've really been working the time pretty well here with the conversation. Yeah. So let's see. So okay. So now I'm going to move on to the next question into the comic scene now. Um, you've read comics before, right?
I've actually got some sitting here that I'm cleaning up. I've got. These are some older ones. Well, they're not old, but they're some of my old ones. They're like Splitting Image #1, X Force, Warlock, X Force joined Spider Man. I actually have a Storm Quest sitting here too, which was kind of surprising.
Okay. All right. So here's my question then for the comic section of this niche talk. If if you were able to, let's say you met, there's this character named Axis who was actually a native of both DC and Marvel. He was kind of the gatekeeper between the two universes. Okay.
Okay.
So let's say you had the opportunity to go into any comic universe, whether it be DC, Marvel, Image, Dark Horse. Um,
Mm.
if you had your choice to visit any one city in any comic,
Hmm.
which city would it be and why?
Oh, that's a hard one because the comics that I like the most are Tales from the Crypt. uh, and they kind of take place just a little bit like everywhere.
All right.
But if I
Well,
had to pick,
well, if you need them, why don't we do this? Take a moment or two to think about it. While
okay,
you're doing that, I'm going to go off screen again.
okay,
Okay, so why don't we? I'll go off screen, do what I need to do real quick. Give yourself a little time to think
Hmm, that's actually a good question. What the heck? Hmm. Well, DC has Gotham, but um, that's a good one. Mm. Mike, ask me the hard question. uh, hmm. I think that's a
fantasize
good
if they
plan.
had a chance to hang out with their favorite superhero, or go hang out in the city and all that.
Hmm. I think I would settle on Atlantis.
Atlantis.
Yeah.
Sorry, okay. Sorry, playing Warzone and Fall Guys. Can't talk much. Well, we'll get you on one of these days, anonymity. Did you see that quote from him?
No, I'll have to look.
So, so you want okay, which version of Atlantis?
Oh,
Submariner's version, or Namor's version, or Arthur Curry's Aquaman's version?
mm, that's a hard one. uh, I don't know how to pick out of this one. I would say the one that is highly technologically advanced, the most advanced one.
If I understand correctly, that would be Aquaman's one.
Yeah,
That'd be the DC one.
yeah. So I'm gonna go with that.
Yeah. For me, I'd say if I had to pick one city, because for me, if anything, I'd just want to teleport myself to the DCU prior to Final Crisis and just live there. I just want to just leave the world leave the dimension we're in now.
Yeah, and just go
Go to
relax.
and just go and just live in the pre Final Crisis DCU. But if I had to pick just one city, I would probably say Gotham City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just
That was on the
just because
fence of that.
Batman's a pretty cool guy to hang out with.
And that's Batman's the leader of the Justice League when he makes everyone sit in his plane while he flies.
Yeah,
because they can all fly.
yep.
Oh, I seen that picture the other day.
Yeah, well,
Like, yep.
I know that like the DCAU, what they did with that, what the point they were making with Batman, which I think was a point made comics, is that Batman always, even though he's not always a full time member of the Justice League, even though he has no superpowers, they still respect him. They still respect him as an equal.
Yeah.
For what he's able to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, think about it. I mean, he doesn't have any like natural superpowers. Okay, everything he's gained is through effort, through training, and through just gut. You know, it's like he is considered. You know, by the time Final Crisis comes around, he's considered one of the top 5 martial artists in the world of DC. You know, he's pretty much considered an expert on just about every science you could think of. Criminology, you know.
Well, even in the things, they consider him a super genius. Like, he could take down the entire Justice League if he wanted to, but he doesn't.
And he's actually made plans to do so too.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, he was like, what is this? It's like, oh, it's just a standby in case the Justice League goes rogue. I was like, oh gosh. He's like, I can kill you any moment, basically. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, all right, I need to take a break. I can't read anymore. Can't watch this anime either anymore. I was like, I gotta relax. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, he commands a lot of respect. Batman does.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would say he's my favorite superhero.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, Yellow Flash is really, really big on the upcoming movie, The Batman. I know he's been singing its praises pretty much because, this is actually going to be the first Batman movie where they're going to focus on him being a detective.
Oh,
apparently, yeah, that's what Yellow Flash has been talking about. Now, I've read some of I've read some of the synopses and even maybe one or two of the stories of some of Batman's like older stories, like Golden Age and Silver Age stories.
Yeah.
And the detective stuff is pretty good in the comics back in from those time periods. So, I mean, okay. Do you read manga at all? Because I
I haven't touched manga in so long. I can't even remember what the heck the last thing it was. I bought a manga at a yard sale for like $1, and then I was like, okay, I started reading it, and I was like, all right, I don't like read my books backwards, so I just put it on the shelf and then never touched it.
All right. Well, then we'll skip the manga portion.
Oh, you can definitely talk about it though. I'm more than willing to listen.
Well, because what I was going to ask was, what do you feel is the best anime adaptation of a manga? But I don't know if you'd have.
I don't have a whole lot of
know
reference
that.
for that one. Yeah.
What was that?
But from what I'm hearing, like from what my brother tells me, because he reads all that stuff, he reads a lot of manga and stuff. He says, Attack on Titan wasn't bad for adaptations. Like it was pretty close. Like they literally stopped the anime because they didn't have any more stories for Attack on Titan yet, and because the anime or the mangas haven't progressed far enough yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, whatever.
Yeah, and sometimes animes get productions get halted because they get because the anime gets a little too close to the manga too.
Yeah. What did he tell me? Said something about he said Bleach was pretty good, and at some point they just went crazy off with the anime.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if you heard this, but I guess there is a new Bleach.
What?
There is a new Bleach anime coming out, supposedly, from what I heard.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Is it still the same protagonist in that one?
I think so. I think it might be a continuation of the original series, but
okay,
I'm not sure. I think SG Sammy has reported on it a bit. So, anyway, yeah, okay. So I'm going to move on then to pro wrestling.
Okay.
Now, since I know you're from Southern Ontario, and I know a little bit about Toronto pro wrestling history, not just the WWE stuff, but have you heard? Did you ever hear of a independent promotion called Border City Wrestling?
Border City?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. It
was an independent promotion. I think they merged with Maximum BSE. It was started up by Scott D'Amore.
Okay.
Okay. And a number of these guys actually ended up showing up on Impact. I don't know if you've ever seen Impact. Well, originally when it was called TNA, Total Nonstop Action.
Yeah. Ain't that now the BCW?
No. Some of the guys started out in BCW. Border City Wrestling was started up in Toronto in like 1993 and ran until 2001. And then a lot of those guys did go over to TNA. One of the guys I remember of course, Bobby Roode, who's now with the WWE, came out of that area. You had Eric Young, you had Alistair Ralph, A1. But one of the guys who had probably one of the most incredible, some people would say it was even one of the most sickest finishing moves out there, was a guy by the name of Petey Williams.
Okay.
He had this move he called the Canadian Destroyer. And this move was just, it was quite literally a flipping pile driver.
Okay.
I kid you not. Now, you know what a pile driver is. You know what a classic pile driver is, right?
Yeah.
Basically, you get the guy in pike position where you got the guy's head between your knees. You pick him up, and then now the classic version is you just simply sit back and let gravity take its course, the head basically being driven in the mat. Guys like Paul Orndorff, and earlier in his career, Scott Levy, aka Raven, used a version where they, jumped up, the jumping pile driver. Well, what Petey Williams would do is instead of picking up like this and just dropping back or even jumping up, what he would do is from the pike position, he'd literally flip over the guy and pile drive the guy.
Oh wow.
This was something you just had to see it to believe it. I mean, now, Greg, Petey Williams was a junior heavyweight, cruiserweight, light heavyweight. You know, he's I think in that 200 to 225 range. But I mean, to see this move, right, was just incredible. You know, he literally would just from that pike position would flip over the guy, pile driving the guy. It was an incredible move. It was an incredibly sick move when you saw it. You know? But yeah, I mean, of course, I know early on in his career too. You know, not with Border City, but with another wrestling promotion that actually started in 1992 up in that same area. That I think is still going on today, still may be active today. Northern Championship Wrestling, but that's where like Edge and Christian got their start with Northern Championship and Rhino. But at the time, of course, you know, well, Christian was going by his full ring name of Christian Cage. Edge was going by the name Sexton Hardcastle. I kid you not. That was one of his early. That was one of Adam Copeland's early wrestling ring names. Okay, Sexton Hardcastle, and of course, Rhino was called Rhino Richards. You know, they were part of a faction with a guy named Joey Legend up there. I think they were wrestling with Northern Championship Wrestling at the time, and then, of course, like they would go on to the further independent scene as well. I know Christian Cage did at one point participate in down in Delaware in ECWA's Super 8 tournament at one point as well earlier on his career. I think before he went on to becoming famous in WWE. So, you know, and I know like Mr. Hop and I talked a little bit about the independent scene, and a lot of wrestling fans don't know as much about the independent scene, or even knew as much about the territory stuff of the old NWA days as well. You know, like I learned more about it because you know it's like I know a lot of people probably not as much now because you have more people who just know more about what's going on. You know, but back, you know, in the 80s and 90s, you know, people, you know, well, probably more in the 80s and prior to the 80s, people just, I guess, just thought that these wrestlers just showed up out of nowhere in the WWF. And that wasn't the case. A lot of them would be, you know, making the tours on the territory scene and later the independent scene. It wasn't like I became aware of this because, like, I remember back when I was in high school, and I saw Anderson and Tully Blanchard, who were the Brainbusters on WWF television. And then, of course, I would also watch some of the NWA stuff at the time on TBS here. You know, you know, prior to it to officially becoming WCW. And
watching WCW, that was so good to watch on the weekends.
Yeah, you had Saturday night, you had main event, you had pro and all that. Yeah, but and they had good in-ring work too. But I then saw Arn on that, and I realized, yeah, these guys probably go back and forth. I want to learn more about like a lot of these different promotions and stuff, and watch them, find what I can watch. And I, of course, on some of the independent stations out here in California, I sometimes get a chance to watch, some of the syndicated or rerun. Of course, on ESPN they would have the AWA wrestling on there as well as sometimes USWA, and then in syndication they'd have reruns of like the old World Class Championship Wrestling stuff as well as like Global when it was and Glow, gorgeous ladies of wrestling. So, yeah, that stuff was pretty cool. Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of independent stuff to check out too. That because these guys just don't show up on WWF like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I mean, even that's not really the case anymore because now even the WWF has you know the training center and has like NXT as a developmental kind of program for them. So, um, but a lot of these guys will get like AJ Styles got started on the Southeastern Independence. He gets started out with like NWA Wildside even before he went to. Now you may not know this, but early on in AJ's career, he was actually enhancement talent for WCW. Like in I think it was in '99 and 2000. He would go there with his tag partner Ayers Pairs, and they would be like. Now, I think at times he wouldn't use the name AJ Styles all the time. I think he would use his real name at times, Alan Jones, and but they would serve as both tag team and single enhancement talent for the guys in WCW. But he was getting a lot of his formative years were done down in Georgia with NWA Wildside, run by Bill Barron. So look at all this interesting stuff you're finding about professional wrestling, right?
Mm. Did you ever watch the Toys That Made Us? Surprise! I was surprised when they talk about wrestling toys, that how much history that they give and the information they give you.
Yeah,
In
I'm
your
not
segment.
really. I'm not really as much
A toy
into the
guy.
toy side. Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily my cup of tea. But
Yeah.
much how how manga serves as a source material for anime,
Yeah.
I do get that a lot of the toy cons are due to the fact that the toys serve as a lot of the source material for a lot of cartoons. I mean, there was a lot of merchandising throughout, like the '80s and even we've talked about the He-Man and Masters of the Universe, She-Ra, Transformers, GI Joe, GoBots, Thunder the Barbarian, Care Bears, Rainbow Bright, Strawberry Shortcake, Cabbage Patch Kids, Teddy Ruxpin. They all had their own set of merchandise to the cartoons.
Mm.
You know, um, so yeah, yeah. Let's see. So how we doing on time here? About an hour and 17 minutes here. So we've gone we've made good on the time here. You know, we really did use up a lot of that time, which I'm glad for. And just to give you a heads up, now, Grant, I hope we can get more people in here, but Friday is always going to be panel night. So Friday
Okay.
night, even if I don't have guests, I am trying to get guests. It's just I've reached out to people, but they just haven't got back to me yet. You know, um, but I'm gonna try to have guests on as well. But if I don't have guests, I'll probably be bringing you guys on. For stuff like this. Some
Hmm.
sometimes it will be where maybe I'll have you co-commentate on maybe pick out some stories like I normally do, read the articles, and then we'll talk about it like commentary. Do commentary on what I'm reading. But tonight I just felt one, there was only like one story that I really saw coming into this, and plus I've been feeling like I've been pushing myself on these streams a bit, so I just
Hmm.
want to have a night of it's
Relax.
more of a casual night, just kind of
Yeah.
a hangout night because going and doing research and like looking up, now granted, it's not as bad with the this day in niche history, but when you're looking up news stories to read and then you got to pre-read them, got to try to figure out, okay, how am I going to measure this out time wise, you know, and then
I get it.
it's like sometimes it can get mentally straining. So
Yeah, and
I
then you
just
find
figured,
yourself dragging your feet to get to the next story, right?
huh?
And, when you get to that point where you're drained, you start dragging your feet to do the next item, and then you just
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I just figured, and I didn't really have a full weekend of because even on the week, even Yellow Flash is recommending, as YouTubers, we should always try to take a day or two off, maybe take the weekends off. Now, ground for me, I do record my VA profiles on the weekends still,
Mm-hmm.
but now those are regular features. I don't premiere those anymore. And then I watch old pro wrestling, and then I'll do, of course, that feature, the squared circle calendar feature. But yeah, let's see. And you don't have you don't have cable though, huh?
Cable, no.
Yeah. So
No.
because I was gonna remind you that the dub of Assassination Classroom is premiering tomorrow night. I guess technically Sunday morning, but you get what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. Yeah. Have you seen the complete series of Assassination Classroom yet, or no?
I haven't seen any of it yet.
Okay, then I'm gonna quiet down and I won't say nothing.
I've
You'll
been,
like it.
last weekend when I was watching the Batman movies, I did see, I did see the trailers and stuff. Now I know Funimation has done the dub of it, so,
Yeah.
um,
That was before they went crazy. So.
yeah. Well, yeah. Well, now I think Toonami is becoming a bit more Funimation controlled because, like, okay, so they go 3.5 hours right now. That's 7 time slots, right?
Hmm.
So of the 7 time slots, Funimation right now has 4 of them. LA has 3 of them.
Oh.
Now there was a time when LA was the one who was dominating the time slots. Now they're still pretty evened out, but now when Food Wars was on, that was Sentai getting one of the. Wow, we have 5 people here now. Woohoo! Hello, fifth person. To the fifth person, I've shared the link. If you should decide that you might want to join us,
Hmm.
um, take part in the conversation here. Um, it looks like they left again. Oh
Oh.
well,
Maybe they got bad internet or something.
yeah.
I know that
Well,
was
we've been
happening to
we've been
me.
hovering back and forth between 3 and 5. Well, like last night, I had 5 people, at the most, but it's steadily, normally it goes like up and down the
Hmm.
the, the count, but last night it steadily went up. It started with just the 2 of us and went up to 3 and up to 4 and 5. It didn't like go back down and up. It steadily climbed. So that was interesting.
Yeah. But you got 6 likes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, okay. Is that what you're saying too? 6 likes?
Yeah.
Okay. Technically, it's 5 likes because I think during the stream,
Hmm.
um, I think YouTube adds one as part of it, and that doesn't count as that doesn't hold over. That additional like is just during the stream.
Oh, okay.
So so yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just looking up this Canadian destroyer. Oh, that looks gross. That was gnarly. Sorry.
Oh, did you look it up?
I'm looking at it right now. I was like, oh, that looks painful. I was like, how's he get him over like that? Oh,
That takes a lot of legs. If you think about it,
yeah.
that takes a lot of leg strength to do that because you got to basically bounce off bounce off your you basically got to bounce off your heels and carry the guy's weight over with it.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I was like, oh, and now and there's a flying version of it and everything. Holy heck.
Yeah, I mean, with their X division, Impact, TNA, Impact Wrestling,
Yeah.
they had some good in ring work there. They had, with that X division in particular, you have a lot of those guys who are very, very gifted athletically.
Almost makes me jealous.
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh, we hit all the niche topics already. At the end, we are coming up on an hour and a half here, so I think I might start winding down a bit. So are you ready for the This Day in Each History segment then?
Oh yes.
Now I don't know if you're listening anonymity if you can hear this, but I'm about getting ready to do the This Day in Each History. Do you want to at least come and check this part out? I know you weren't able to join us for the conversation, but do you want to at least check this part out, my friend? We're about to do the This Day in Each History. I'm just waiting to see if he responds. I know he said he's kind of entertaining a friend tonight, so.
Playing Warzone and Fall Guys. Can't talk much. Ha 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 ha. Play with us.
Well, actually, before I do that, though, too, one other thing, since you're kind of up there in Eastern Canada, there, have you ever heard of the show either Highlander the series or Forever Night?
Yes, I have watched both.
What do you think of them? Did you like them?
Let me see. Highlander was pretty good. At the beginning of the series, they do a handoff from Connor to Duncan. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The series wasn't too bad. There was a lot of morality stories in them. That was pretty good. I like that. Forever Night was basically it was just cough at night because he has an allergy to the sun. He just happens to be a vampire. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
didn't.
some of the plot was the fact that he was kind of a repentant vampire. Repentant vampire. The fact that he was a repentant vampire actually draws parallels to the cult classic soap opera Dark Shadows from back in the '60s. I don't know if you'd ever heard of that.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it was on ABC here in the States, so you guys may not have gotten it. Yeah. Well, okay. Do you remember? Did you ever watch the X-Men series of the '90s?
Oh, the animated series?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Here's a couple of interesting little facts about connections between actors between that and the two that I just told you about.
Oh, okay.
The girl who voiced Jean Grey in X-Men the animated series, that was Catherine Disher. Catherine Disher was Natalie in Forever Night.
Yeah, okay. I did not know that. Holy heck.
Yeah, Catherine Disher, who was Natalie in Forever Night, did the voice of Jean Grey in X-Men X-Men the animated series of the '90s. Oh. And Philip Aiken, who was I think in like seasons 3, 4, and 5 he was the black guy in Highlander the series. Later in the more I think in late like I think 3rd, 4th, or 5th season, he voiced Bishop in X-Men the animated. The guy who voiced Bishop in X-Men the animated series, he was in Highlander the series.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
He was a black. That was when Duncan. That was after he and Tess parted ways. That's when Duncan was running the martial arts studio. Philip Aiken was the other martial artist there. That was the guy who voiced.
I get it. Yeah.
X-Men Evolution. So a couple interesting little tidbits I was just thinking about that because the part of the reason was one, I started watching those series again on YouTube. but also I know both of those were. I know Forever Night was totally taped up in Canada, and I know that Highlander was at least partially taped in Canada. So some cool scenery up there too. All right. Well, with that being said, that little side note, let's go ahead and start closing this out of it. I'm going to go ahead and since you're on with me, if you would like, you can do some commentary on some of this stuff as well if you have anything you'd like to add or say to what I'm about to do here. So now today being Friday, August the 28th, 2020, let's get to this day in Nietzsche history, my friend. And we are going to go back in time here, all the way back to 1973 to start us off on, because what I would like to do, of course, is wish a happy birthday to Mr. Takashi Takushi. I'd like to wish him a happy 47th birthday today. And if you do not know who Takushi is, he is a Japanese artist noted as the co-founder of the Japanese visual novel and anime development and production enterprise Type Moon, and for his illustrations on Type Moon's visual novels Tsukihime and Fate Stay Night. So I'd like to wish him a happy 47th birthday today to Takashi Takushi. With that, would you like to add anything, Action Toy Channels?
Oh, I'm just reading it because I didn't know that. And I was like,
I let you know about a lot of stuff you never knew before, right?
Yeah.
We got five people again in here. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. Interesting stuff when you look back on history and stuff, or even if you're just looking up birthdays too.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so
I did not know that.
Okay. Yeah, he's the illustrator for Fate Stay Night and Tsukihime.
Yeah. I like Fate Stay Night. I'm a little surprised I didn't know that.
Yeah. The visual novel. So let's see now. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next thing here. So on this date in 1995, which was of course 25 years ago today, Sailor Moon would make its syndicated and Cartoon Network debut on this date in 2005. On this date 25 years ago, Sailor Moon would make her syndicated and Cartoon Network debut on this date in 2000 and I'm sorry, in 1995, 25 years ago today.
Mm. Yeah, I've never really watched much of that.
Huh?
Oh, I just never really watched Sailor Moon too much until I got a bit got to, I was like, oh, I'm here for the sailor outfits.
Yeah. Yeah, the kind of the fan service that a lot of those SJWs. How dare you?
How dare you objectify these women?
Ah! Yeah, all we need now is for a blue-haired whale to start swimming in and getting beached in here, huh?
It's a good thing all they see is Hardak.
Yeah. Okay, so now the next piece coming from the pro wrestling side of it. On this date in the year 2000, on an episode of Monday Nitro, Kevin Nash would defeat Booker T for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. On this date in the year 2000, which was 20 years ago today. Think about that. I mean, you look at Kevin Nash today and you see all the gray hair on his head. And you look back 20 years ago today. he beat Booker T for it was 20 years ago that he beat Booker T for the WCW World. I mean, he was already kind of up there in years, right?
Yeah.
Kind of at and you could already tell even at that point that he was that he was you'd already tell at that point he
He's
was
already
kind of
starting to get a
like
little
at
long
the
in
end of
the
his
career.
career. I mean, you watch the way he walked and stuff. You knew that he was the walking wounded, basically.
Yeah.
Well, even but okay, the thing is, even before becoming I don't know if you knew this about Kevin Nash. Okay, he was a college basketball player prior to becoming a professional wrestler, and he looked like he was going to go into the NBA until a knee injury basically just cut that career short, and then he ends up going into professional wrestling.
I can believe that. A lot of tall guys end up in basketball.
Yeah, but so on this date 20 years ago, Kevin Nash defeated Booker T for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, you think about it, you look at his gray hair, you think that was 20 years ago this happened. That was just something else, right?
Mm-hmm. Booker T pre-axe kick in it for a finisher.
Well, no, that he was still well, no, the scissors kick was actually before the Uranagi slam, which
Oh,
was
okay.
which was like and he did join us for a sec here. Kevin Nash Diesel. Yep, we're talking about the guy who portrayed Diesel in the WWF at the time, now WWE. So
Mhm.
okay, and the final this day in each history story to look at in the realm of comics on this date in the year 2002. The 10th DC released on this date in 2002 the 10th issue of the third volume of Catwoman. The story Joyride. This was post-crisis version of Catwoman. This is, of course, her, taking in the orphan Holly Robinson, not to be confused with the actress Holly Robinson Pete, of 21 Jump Street fame and the wife of former NFL quarterback Rodney Pete. Um, but yeah, on this date in the year 2002, which was 18 years ago, DC released the 10th issue of volume 3 of Catwoman.
And look at that price, $2.50. Can you believe prices were so low?
Well, you wouldn't. Okay, do you know how low? Do you know what the price of a comic book back in like the 1930s to the 1950s was?
5 cents.
Pretty much. Well, it was 5 cents, and then it became 10 cents.
Then
But
25,
yeah,
50, 75
but
dollar.
but it was like real cheap back then.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're at an hour 38 and change there. All right. Well, thank you for joining me tonight, Action Toy Channels.
Oh, anytime.
Um, you know, to make it a little easier, if you don't mind, would it be all right if I just called you ATC?
ATC? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna call you ATC because to say that full, Action Toy, that can get a little wordy and a little
Yeah.
verbally tiring after a while. I'm just gonna call you ATC. Okay, so thank you for joining me tonight, ATC, on this stream. Hopefully, we
Anytime.
can get more people involved in this stream on the Friday night forums. When I don't have guests,
Mm-hmm.
have these good conversations. Time really goes by when I have somebody to interact with. So
Yeah, it didn't seem like it went by that fast. I was like, what?
yeah,
you're like, you're like, It's already been an hour. I'm like, no way. I feel like 20 minutes.
And as you know, I get on real quick, so I usually start off. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody who joined us tonight, and I'm gonna close this out. And thank you, ATC, for joining me. And hopefully, I'll see you all on Monday. I'm gonna check you out of here, and then I'm gonna close out the stream. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, well, back go, dude. You're real late. We're about to end the show. Good stream. If you don't have any guests next Friday, I'll try to call in. All right. Hopefully you will. Hopefully we can get some more people in. So I'm glad you were, and you finally said something. But I'm about to end the stream now. All right. Well, hopefully you'll get here on time and stuff. But anyways, I know I preemptively um, kicked you out of there. ATC. Thank you for joining me. I'm about to close up the stream, so I will see you all later. Bye.